Got amigos. Let's go over here. All right. All right, let's make sure we got this turned on. Hello, everybody. Give me a second, get set up here, and we will get this party started. Get this party started. What's going on? Jeremy, CB? We got Michigan CB or California CB in the house? Jeremy from Maine. What do you guys think? Hey, Linda, where are you calling from, Linda? I haven't seen you around here. Hans from North Carolina. Yeah. Oh, I got it. That's right, Jeremy. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to monetize this baby to get that sweet, sweet YouTube money before I get banned. All right, hold on just a second. Kevin, right on. All right, all right. And then I'm going to go make it Nancy. Or Nancy, where are you from again? Thomas Taylor, Daniel, where are you all coming in from? I just got back from a lacrosse game. Yeah. Huntington Beach, right? Hey, Adam, what's going on, man? I was talking to another guy from Huntington Beach just the other day. I said, I didn't say your name or anything, but say, hey, man, I know another guy from Huntington Beach. That's pretty good. He's like, whoa, that's cool. And he loves it there. And he said he's never moving. Can't beat the Indiana Frenchie, right on. French Lick, Indiana, right? Uh-oh. Who we got here? We got the big boy, the big baby. Matt, you want to say hi to everybody in the channel? Hello. But they can't see you, girl. Okay, they can hear my voice. My daughter's here from college. Maddie's here from college. Hey, Kim, upstate New York, right on. Massachusetts. All right, all right. Oh, you can leave it on. I got to come get my tea. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. And that's Liam. Hey, Liam, would you want to bring my tea? I'm gonna just make sure to get monetized. Hey, new, right on, David. Where are you calling in from, man? Or Chicago, right on. Okay, gotcha. Western New York. All right, Nancy. Not upstate New York, like Syracuse area by chance. Washington State, Alabama, right on, Daniel. Iowa. All right, cool. Arkansas. I thought you were in North Carolina, Hans. Okay, gotcha. Pop Stew, Walpole, Mass, right on. Cornbread. The Villages, Muskie. I remember that. Moved to. You still living down there in Florida? Vicksburg, Mrs. You don't really live there, do you, Rick? I just say that because my daughter had a thing for the Army when she was in high school down there at Vicksburg. Some kind of STEM class they have at an Army base down in Vicksburg. I forgot what it's called. GEMS. I think it was like some kind of GEM camp. Anyway, and man, right on, right on, Mushkie. And I just remember Vicksburg, they had a outlet mall down there. It was like 4 stores. And there's a pizza place. We got to chat with the guy who owned it, and he was from New York someplace. So just like, man, that I wasn't all that impressed. Nothing wrong. And I'm not trying to bag on your town. A-10s, yes, sir. Oh, man, I remember those A-10s going overhead when I was in the Army, man. Hearing those Vulcans, I was like, damn. Anyways, this guy was and I had a friend of mine who went through Vicksburg as well. He got mugged downtown. I said, how do you get mugged downtown? All there is freaking casinos, Dan. Hey, what's up, Kevin? 96 in Phoenix. Casinos, and that's it. He goes, he just got mugged in the middle of daylight. I said, damn, dude, crazy. So anyway, that's Lehigh Valley. Yeah, I heard the opening day, because it's cold here tonight. The wind. It wasn't cold except for the wind. I heard there's opening day today, and in New York is snowing during opening day for baseball. Man, I used to love baseball. Man, I tell you, sad. I just don't care anymore. It's just sad. I used to love it. Harrisburg, right on. I was in 10th Mountain Division, Don, up in Fort Drum. But man, I used to opening day of baseball was just I can't tell you. And, you know, when you're growing up in Maine in the springtime, when the baseball season hits, that means the winter's behind you. You know what I'm saying? So when you just baseball just meant you survived, and I just but I just miss loving baseball. I miss it, man. And I was talking to Scott the game today. He's like, yeah, the Cubs and the Yankees and Fort Drum is quite cold. Yes, sir. And Jeremy, were you in the Army? I can't remember. Were you after you were in the? Were you? I don't remember. But anyway, I just the opening day. You know, I think the Red Sox used to play on Patriot Day, if memory serves. They used to kick off. I think it wasn't the Phillies. We used to start the opening day. I can't remember. Hey Jeff, where you been, man? I was wondering if I was going to email you. I hadn't seen you around. Were you in Fort Drum, Jeremy? What? Or were you in the Army, or what branch were you in? No, I didn't go. Well, I was in the Army during first Gulf War. I did not go, thankfully. They didn't take anyone from like light infantry units. I remember. I mean, I think 82nd they took. That's an airborne unit. But we had some friends that volunteered. But yeah, wow, your granddad was the general manager of many baseball teams. Yeah. Now, BLM has done damage across the country. National Guard, right on, Jeremy. Just there for a week of training, right on. Okay, gotcha. That's cool. National Guard is still a veteran for sure. Yeah, man. Sad. BLM has done damage across. I had a lady post on LinkedIn. And this is, look, you got to, LinkedIn is nothing but woke corporate cubicle types. And this lady posted just not that long ago, and I said, man, you guys are really searching for racism. If this is the extent of racism, that you got to create some memes. They had a picture like Michael Brown and George Floyd. I'm like, you know, and they said murdered to somebody else, murdered by cops. They had a picture of white guys that weren't murdered by cops. And they're like, all these certain type of people were like, hey, look, it's true. And I was like, you guys are freaking nuts, man. It's just as sad. It's just, if you got to reach that deep to prove racism, inherently it doesn't exist. It's nuts, man. And I just 11th Cav, Vietnam. Oof, man, dude. 11 Bravo. Woo. Right on. Right. Well, much obliged. It wasn't yesterday or 2 days ago, Vietnam Veterans Day. You get a whole day, right? We get we'll have a whole year for Black Lives Matter, but for Vietnam vets, you get a whole day. That's great. Much obliged. Yeah, I remember just doing, you know, and have those A-10s flying over. This is in Fort Drum and in Fort, not wherever there's California, Fort Irwin, where they did the NTC, and just have those A-10s flying over that Vulcan. You're like, damn, scared the living bejesus out of me. I'm like, dude, that thing is scary. Oh, man. Day one of retirement. Right on, man. Right on. Right on. Oh, good job, Nan. Bristol, Tennessee. In 87-91 Germany, yeah, we went to Reforger twice in from Fort Drum to Reforger. I don't think they do that anymore. Yeah, well, they're not even offended by everything. They're looking for stuff. It's not even just that they're offended. They're looking for stuff to be offended by. That's what makes this nuts. Like, dude, I'm just sitting there thinking, imagine living your life having to show everybody how discriminated against you are. Like, literally, yeah, it's just, can you imagine that? You just got to say, look at what happened. I'm like, friggin' life sucks. I get it. Move on. Move on. No one's holding you back except you, and you're holding yourself back because you keep saying, look at what happened in the past. I mean, can you imagine living your life saying, I have to be offended by something, man? It's nuts to me. And you're so offended, you're so victimized that you have to find something. You literally scratch the bottom of the pit to say, look at this, I'm being abused. I'm just like, man, I feel bad for people like that. And I think it's deliberate, actually, that the powers that be want a certain victim class on a certain group of people. And it's not just skin colors. It's just everyone that they want to say is Satan, man. You are a victim. If it wasn't for those guys, and right now it just has to be white guys. Everyone hates white guys. If you took away the white guys, next year it'll be somebody else. It's always somebody you can blame. But there's like, if it wasn't for them, I'd be happy. And you're like, man, happiness comes from inside. Anyway, so it's sad. All right, so I did get a question here. We'll start with this one right here. My man lady Claudia says, is it true that a divorcee married 19 years is entitled to ask for the Exxon Social Security benefits no matter the divorcee's age? All right. I don't know. I don't know how that works actually. So let's say Claudia, you're married to George, and we're going to say George, we're going to say you are 62 and George is 52. He does not have to file for you to get your spousal benefits off his record. So I'm going to say that is true. I'm going to say that is true because your ex does not have had to have filed for you to get your spousal benefits. The question is, though, what are they going to give to you? Because he's only 52. I guess they're going to assume that. I don't know how that works with Social Security. Because let's just say he's 52 years old, and the Social Security benefit is going to say they assume his PIA, his primary insurance amount, will be on his current income that he'll continue to make until he's 67. That will be his PIA, but that's still 15 years from now if he's 52 years old. So what happens is that I'm just using that for example, you're 62, you'll get half of his benefit. It'll be reduced because you're filing early, but it's going to be based on what they assume his PIA is going to be 15 years from now. So that, I guess that's true. It just seems odd to me, like what happens if he quits his job? Then his PIA will be significantly lower than what they anticipated. Would that mean you'll have a reduced benefit going forward? I don't know. I just know he does not have to file for you to claim spousal benefits. Does he have to be of the age to file? I don't know that to be true. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what else you would look at that, because it says he doesn't have to file. Maybe he has to be there must be something in the system where in the Social Security Administration that says he's got to be at least of the ability to file. I got to think it's got to be 62. I just can't imagine that you could get half of his PIA if he's so many years away from filing for benefits. That just doesn't make sense to me. So I got to think, Claudia, that he would have to at least be of filing age. Yeah, Big Red Machine, man. Remember that? Yeah, I was just talking to a guy about Big Red Machine, man. George Foster. Remember him? 52 home runs? Crazy. George Foster. Like, no one back then, like Fred Lynn, I think, won the Triple Crown, or maybe I think it was Fred Lynn, not Triple Crown. Maybe, no, he didn't win it. I don't think so. Anyway, pretty close. He had like 32 home runs, 120 RBIs, and like a 320 batting average. And George Foster had 52 home runs. I mean, again, I get the Red Sox, the American League, the Reds are in the National League, but man, I miss loving baseball. I miss it. I just don't think I'll ever get back to it. York, Pennsylvania Revolution baseball had to lower the 37-foot stadium outfield wall because the wall's shadow threatened local eel. Your wife leaves you and still gets to collect yours. No, but she doesn't collect your Social Security. Just be advised. She's not collecting your Social Security. She's collecting her entitled spousal benefit, which is half of your benefit. It has nothing to do with you. Literally you'll never know, has no impact on you. It's her spousal benefit, which is half of your PIA. And she can't get that plus her own. It's going to be she'll get the most of her own benefit or half of your PIA. That's it. Yep. Everything through the lens of race, sex, and gender instead of the word. 100%. Without question. Chris Westfall had a great live stream today regarding Biden's Medicare at age 60 proposal. Yeah, I don't care about these proposals, to be honest with you. I mean, until they come in, I mean, everyone wants this one, but I don't care. We got to see legislation, and legislation comes from the corporate lobbyists. That's just a fact. They write the bills, Congress approves them, and then Biden signs off them. And they'll go to a committee. I get it. I could care less about Biden's thing until it gets into Congress. And I don't mean sign, like vote. I mean until it gets debated in Congress. Biden's thing doesn't mean anything. I know there's lots of fun that could be done with YouTube like this. It doesn't matter. It actually just, I think, wastes. I see all this crap on YouTube. I'm like, who cares? Like, Biden's, it gets lots of views. I don't understand it, because until it gets into legislation, at least proposed legislation in Congress, And it has nothing to do with Biden. It has to do with Congress. It's got to go through the House Ways and Means. That's where everything originates, House Ways and Means. I don't even know who's the chairman of the House Ways and Means. I'm sure some far lefty. Until it gets through there, it gets voted on in the House. And remember, the House the Dems have a 7-seat majority in the House. There's a 50-50 split with Kamala as a vote. It's just this. I tell you, in some way, this is almost ideal for the Republican Party. I'm not. Let me go get my tea. I'll be right back. Thanks, guys. Good. All right. All right. Yeah, exactly. Young timer in the house. Young timer's mad at me because for some reason he thinks you just get too political, Josh. I'm like, dude, I've always been political. I don't get it. But young timer, he's all right. I don't care what they say about you, young timer. You're all right. Exactly. All right. So Linda says, where would you put extra income from Social Security, RMD, not needed for monthly expenses, index fund? Well, remember, an index fund is very broad. I mean, there's index funds for bonds, index funds for stocks. But if you're trying to get that puppy to grow, it'd be an S&P 500 index fund, absolutely, or VTI, which I own, just FYI. But, sir, an index fund without question. Presumably you have no debt, so yeah, absolutely. If you have a large enough estate and you're getting into estate tax because you live in a certain state, Massachusetts, even Kentucky, Pennsylvania with inheritance tax, Oregon, you might start wanting to give it away. Just give it away, man. Absolutely. Or just give away your RMDs. If you have RMDs, that means you have qualified charitable distributions. You can stroke a check to a charity of your choice, and you don't get 1099. I'm going to take my hat off because I was, again, sorry about my hair. I was at the game. It was cold, so if my hair is messy, I did shower this morning. Did Yaz with a Triple Crown? Like in 67, was that it? Remember Yaz popping up the Bucky Dent home run game. Yaz popped up with guys, I think on second and third. That sucked, dude. Wait, when the Red Sox lose was a 7, then the Reds won in 76 against. Was it 76 the Reds played the Sox or 75? That was 76. Carlton Fisk, right? Bernie Carbo. Freaking yeah, I agree 100%. 100%. I'll tell you right now, in 2017, best World Series. I don't even know who played, but I will tell you, one of the best World Series ever. That's most exciting, and I had no skin in the game. Was the Yankees and Diamondbacks. You remember that World Series? That was nuts. My brother was actually at Game 7 when Luis Gonzalez, I think he hit a double against Rivera, actually, if memory serves. That was insane. That was insane. I miss baseball, but it's man. All right. Kurt says he grew up a mile from where Pete Rose lived in Cincy. Right on. Yeah, Chattanooga. It's going to be tough any place in Tennessee. My concern about Chattanooga is the mayor used to be Bob Corker. And if you remember him as a senator, was it Corker? Yeah, it's Corker, right? Yeah. Tennessee had some disappointing senators. Lamar Alexander, Bob Corker is him. And he's a Chamber of Commerce type guy. Chattanooga is good. It's not as good as you would think it would be. Let's just put that. And this is just my opinion. It's good. It's good. It's definitely, it's definitely good, but it's freaking awesome, man. I'm just telling you, it's perfect sized town. but don't go there expecting it's going to be a right wing, rabble rousers. It's not. It's just it seemed more corporate-ist, if that makes sense. A lot of big business interest, chamber of commerce types and stuff, and that's just my opinion. But I've talked to many clients in Chattanooga, many people, and I know that Bob Corker was the mayor, and he was a big chamber of commerce type. So, let's make 401k 10% for Bob. You're joking, right? No way, man. No way. No way. No more nothing. And one of I got stuff. I got the wind was kind of making my skin dry, so I put some stuff right there. Saw your other video about best place to live in Tennessee as conservative. Yeah, that's gonna be. I tell you, man, it's gonna be tough to live anywhere in Tennessee. That's not. I wasn't all that fond of. Those couple towns, Franklin, Tennessee, everyone talks about that. That's kind of where I live right now. It's not quite the same. It's not really as much of a town, but it's like upper middle class, lower wealthy suburbanites. It's look, man. If you're not part of that crowd, it's. I'm not trying to bash the place because I live here, and but. A lot of people, it's just, how can I say this? I don't want to say much more because I don't want to sound like a bash my town. I'm not. You might not fit in if you don't feel like if money isn't that big of a deal and showing it off. I hate to even say that, but if you just want to drive an old car, you don't care. You wear freaking t-shirts and blue jeans, you just don't care. Franklin, Tennessee, nope. And then I went down south of that. I forgot the name of that town. Right south, it's kind of new. That didn't do anything for me. But some of those towns, out west and stuff, freaking awesome. I love them. What I found, KT, and this is my own, and I'll do videos on this. Find a town as a county seat. I think if you find a county seat, you're gonna. If you want looking for like a walkable kind of downtown. Your best, but you want it, where you want to have a downtown, you know what I'm saying? Like an old school downtown. Find a county seat. If you can find a county seat, that will give you more downtownish kind of vibes, if that makes sense. If it's not a county seat, it might be more strip mall, suburban vibes, not just Tennessee, but anywhere. That's what I've noticed that a lot when I went through Tennessee. I said, oh yeah, it's interesting. The county seats always had a more established, boisterous, robust downtown, which I thought was pretty cool. Richie Neal from West Mass is the chairman. Not sure what. All right. Yeah. Click the like button. Apparently the like, I don't know if I watched some guy, he said the like button doesn't give you nearly as much algorithmic hits as the comments, by the way. So some of you wonder why you keep this guy on, why you keep that guy on, and like a Jonathan Blackman guy, he's a good guy, he's harmless. Yeah, he's a whatever. I mean, he's just trolling people, but it does help with the engagement because I literally think he sits at his job. He's got to work for the government and comments on my YouTube channel. I think that's his full-time job. Look, he's harmless. I'm not gonna say he's not a bad guy. He's a harmless guy. He sees things from the left. It's all good. But the like button is secondary to comments. So just FYI, comments are more helpful. Apparently, I was listening to some guy the other day, and that's what he said. So I don't know that to be true, but I'm going with it. Yeah, I tell you, man, I'm going to do another video tomorrow on dividends. Look, I've always been a fan of dividends. I don't think I've ever once said this is my 4th year of doing this channel, that dividends aren't the cat's meow. I know some people say, dividends no big deal. I don't agree with that at all. I cannot stress this enough. I'm going to show you guys this. Hold on a sec. Let me find out. We got to read that. All right. Okay. I tell you what, I just got some stuff on here. I guess I'll just go over it real quick. This was pretty interesting. All right. So I'm going to leave your comment up there, Don, for a second. So I want to just share with this article right here. I've been meaning to do this, and man, there's so much to talk about that, because and I'm still trying to finish up my book on Return to Peaks Island. Blue states losing electrical. Blue states losing electoral votes after 2020 census count. This is pretty cool. So this is from Issues and Insights, which I'm a big fan of. A big fan first time, March 29th. So here we got 2012 to 2020 electoral college. Geez, Louise and blue cheese. And you can see the great state of Maine's got, wait, is this going to be the new one right here? Comment. All right. All right. The meltdown of blue state American progressivism is citing a continual outmigration from blue to red states. I also want to tell you guys something else, too. I was talking to some folks, I think it might have been today. They're from Oregon, and they're going to move to Tejas. And the reason they're moving to Tejas is because they are red like Joe Stalin red. No, I'm just joking. And that's why the Republicans should never been red. Should always been the Dems. But anyway, they're moving because they're sick of the progressive politics. And they're moving to Texas. I'm telling you, man, a lot of these people think the outmigration from California to Texas, from California to Arizona, maybe, but California to Texas actually has kept Texas red. They've done studies on that to show. So before you start throwing eggs at California license plates, if they came on their own accord, I think you might want to think twice about that. Because a lot of these people moving from, in fact, a lady just posted the other day, they're moving from New York down here. And I said, make sure you're taking your red vote with you. Wink, wink. And she goes, oh, yeah, that's why we're moving. I'm telling you, man, don't overlook the fact that a lot of these people who are voluntarily out-migrating are bringing their red votes. So they're saying, look, I can't do anything in Oregon. I'm going to go down here. That's going to be solidified. I can't do anything in New York. I'm coming down here. That helps us solidify stuff. I'm just telling you. So just get the welcome wagon, if that makes sense. By the way, you know what this state right here is? That's West Virginia. That is going to be the 2020s right there. Petri dish for freaking right-wing politics. It's going to be awesome. They got a governor in there. I think that guy used to be a Democrat, but West Virginia is probably the reddest state there is now, which is nuts when you think about how deeply blue it used to be, unionized and whatnot. But they are moving the ball like you would not believe in terms of populist, right-wing, even libertarian freaking politics. It's fantastic. This right here, that is going to be our proving ground. Like Arizona was in the 1990s for school choice. West Virginia is taking the baton and it's running with it. They're trying to get rid of the state income tax. They have a massive school choice, sticking it to the teachers' unions, which is huge. You got to stick it to the teachers' unions, man. And I know some of you guys are part of teachers in the unions. I know I'm not saying specifically to you. I know a lot of times you have to be there to defend yourself. I get it. The teachers' unions are bad. No other way around that. And if we can stick it to them in these various individual states, this is one of the benefits, man, of being on the outside looking in, is because everyone's focused on Sniffy Joe. Well, this is where the good stuff happens. And the same thing happens when the Republicans are in presidency. You see this crazy legislation in these various states. You're like, what the hell was that? Well, there's good stuff happening right here. I'm telling you right now, good stuff. So hang tight, man. You might be surprised. If you're looking to out-migrate, this might not be a bad place to live. That's for sure. All right, so I want to see what they say. Although the official census tallies from last year are still not finalized, it now appears that 7 or 8 seats will change hands from one state to another. The big winner again will be Texas with a gain of 3 seats. Florida could gain 2 more. Other states that gain seats are North Carolina, Arizona, Colorado, Montana, and Oregon. Only Oregon and Colorado are blue states. New York again will be the big loser with its expected loss of 2. And California will lose a House seat and electoral vote too. So that's good, man. So California will have 54. Remember when George W. Bush beat freaking Scary Carey, he only won by, it was like 272, 268 or something like that. So if California loses an electoral vote, we'll just say Texas gains one. That's a net gain of 2, amigos. I mean, that's a big flipping deal. And I tell you, they cleaned up the voter rolls in Ohio. They're cleaning them up now in Georgia. They cleaned them up in Florida. And now when Georgia gets their crowd together, screw your stupid all-star game. I'm telling you right now, Do you really think the people in Georgia, after what we just went through, give two craps about the Major League Baseball All-Star game for DeKalb? I think it's DeKalb or Cobb County, where they freaking screwed us in the vote? Hells no. Sorry, sucks to be you that you paid all that money, you stupid idiots, for your municipal bonds in your county, and now you're not going to say, oh no, don't lose the All-Star game because we're making sure votes are clean. Yeah, screw you guys, man. You think the citizens of Georgia like, oh no, we got to keep the All-Star game. Let's allow clean and fair elections like we had in 2020. Hell no. This is where North Carolina screwed up, man. They didn't fight back at the beginning. You said, no, we're not changing it. Bang it all you want. That's what you got to do. But they didn't do it. And the governor there lost because of that, because he was too squishy on it. If anything, Kemp should learn, dude, you can't negotiate with these people. He said, all right, take your freaking business. Take your freaking Hollywood business out too. The Walking Dead, all the tax credits you get. Yeah, we just leave. By all means, do so. But there's jobs. Yeah, well, okay. Sorry. Get them out of here, because there won't be jobs if we go left, like what's happening in New York and whatnot. So anyway, that's New York right there, by the way. Not there. That's Pennsylvania, New York. Anyways, that's good. So I like very much hearing that stuff. That's states gain or losing electoral seats. 1970. Look at that. Texas has gained 17 electoral votes. California 12. Florida, look at that. Arizona, Georgia, and all these states right here. Right there, man. Blue. Well, not really blue, if you know what I'm saying. Blue. We'll still say blue. So, sucks to be you guys. All right. Big Oil says to the polls, this is fake. The American Petroleum Institute did not say tax us, please. It's just, I don't know why they're doing that, man. I don't know why they're saying that. It's not good. Anyway, all right. So let's go back to political calculations. And I want to show you why I love dividend. All right. So let's go back here. And we're going to get this guy off the screen for a second. And we're going to show you dividends. All right. So S&P at your fingertips. And I did a video on this earlier today, but I'm going to share with you. We're just going to go back to 2000. All right. And we're going to show you something, ladies and germs. Oh man. I mean, it's just, all right. So let's do a couple things here. I'm going to go here and then I'm going to go. All right. So let's go to right here. All right. All right. Hold on just a second. All right, there we go. All right, so all right, check this out. Let's just say we have $100,000. All right, yeah, y'all can see that. Sweet. I don't know if I can make that a little bit bigger. I might. All right, so let's just say we have $100,000 and it's January of 2020, and we're just going to do for simplicity. We're going to say we got $100,000 and we're going to buy the S&P 500. So $100,000 divided by 1,425, and I'm not going to use cents. That means we're going to have 70 shares of the S&P 500. All right, we've got 70 shares of the S&P 500. It pays $16.57 per share of dividends. All right. Oh man, is that right? Is that right? Dividends $16.57. Oh wait, it pays. What it pays one. I'm sorry. That's on 14,000. It pays 1.16%. So 70 shares. That's right. 16.57. 16.57 times 70. Yeah, and that should be. Yeah, there you go. All right, that's right. So it pays. There you go. It pays $16.57 a share of dividend. All right, you with me so far? All right, now, so in 2000, we had $100,000. We invested the S&P 500. It paid $16.57 a share for dividends. I hope that makes sense. So, let's see if anyone has any. Oops. All right. Whoa, Hans just said Georgia took away Delta fuel tax break for speaking out regarding voting rights. Oh, dude, are the Republicans finally playing The freaking fight, finally fighting for the first time, other than the Trumpster? Dude, if that's true, Hans, that is, I gotta see that. If that's true, I'm absolutely stunned. Stunned. See, this is sometimes it takes getting your butt handed to you in let's just say interesting circumstances to get people pissed off enough. They say, no, this is nuts. We're not dealing with this anymore. Well, that's fantastic. That if the Republicans took away Delta's tax break for speaking out regarding voting rights, because Delta was so worried about the freaking woke mob. Oh, nothing could make me happier than that. That is freaking awesome. Stop kowtowing to corporate America, you freaking Republican idiots. The Democrats don't kowtow, and the corporate America keeps kowtowing to them. Then somehow we say we're going to kowtow to corporate America. Maybe they'll like us. Maybe they'll like this. Maybe they'll like this. The corporate America says, great. We don't have to worry about you. We're more worried about the lynch mob on the left. Got to get some lynch mobs on the right with their pitchforks. Telling the corporate America, we're coming after you. Yeah, you think we'll let you deal with Elizabeth Warren on your own, you fools, but we're not your protectors anymore. Oh, if that's true, that's fantastic. All right. So 70 shares invested in the S&P 500 paid $16.57. Are with me now? All right. So that means we got $16.57 times we had 70 shares. We had $1,159 of income. All right. Fast forward. We're just taking the income. We're not doing anything. We're not reinvesting or anything. Now we got $57.83. All right. Times 70 shares. And I'll do this. This will make sense in just a second. So now we're getting $4,048. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right. Well, no, I'm not done yet. $4,048. So we're getting 3 times as much as income as we did back then. On top of that, our $100,000 grew. We had 70 shares at $1,425. Now we got 70 shares at $3,883. So we started with $100,000. Now we got $271,000. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about. If this doesn't freaking get you fired up, ain't nothing gonna, man. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. All right, so we started with 70 shares in 2000, and it paid $16.57 a share. That was the dividend. You times 70 by the dividend amount, and you got $1,159 of income. $1,159 of income is 1.1% yield. All right, so I hope that makes sense. But the yield's no good, Josh. The yield sucks. It's like 1.1. In fact, if we look back at the political calculations, we can see what the yield was back then. And lo and behold, 1.16. Simple, right? So that's pretty simple how you figure this out. So this is where the people who focus so much on dividend yield, I'm like, stop that, man. You got to look at the growth of dividend. All right, so then so we're getting $1,100 a year in income, and our money at $100,000. That's what we had to start with. Fast forward 20 years, we're getting $4,000 of income, but now our money is worth $271,000. Not too shabby. So our money is almost tripled, and our income is quadrupled. You think that's good? Well, check this out. Oh, this is awesome. Watch this. We're going to go to daily treasury yields. And we're going to say, hey, Josh, the bond rates are paying more. Look at that guy. The 20-year bond is paying 6.94%. So we take $100,000. We're getting 6.94%, which is $6,940. All right. Oops. $6,940. Really that simple. So we were making 1,000. We're getting what? We're making 4,448. All right. That's a 20-year treasury back then. So let's go back here. All right. So here's our bond. We bought a $100,000 bond for $600, and we got $6,940 a year as income. Taxes OI, by the way, we're not going to go into this right now, but $6,940 where dividends or taxes QDI. We're not going to go into that because dividend changes. We'll assume this is an IRA, it's all the same thing. All right, so we fast forward 20 years. We still have $100,000. All right, you got $100,000. It matures. You got $100,000. Now this pays significantly more than our income because this is the first year for dividends. So this paid we'll say 6.5 times what this did. This is our dividends and this is our bond. And when it matured at 20 years, we're still only getting $4,048 of income off the dividend, where this guy matured at $6,940. Now the question is, what's it paying now? Oh man, you sure you want to see? It's going to be ugly. So now we say 20-year treasury today is paying is paying 2.19. 2.19. So we go back here and we say, so now this $100,000 of reinvesting in a 20-year treasury is paying $2,190. That's it. $100,000 is only paying $2,190. $100,000 is now worth almost $300,000. It's paying $4,048. I think the jury is no longer out about which way. The jury has come back with a verdict and said dividends, growing dividends, smoke bonds 100%. Now, in the short term, no, because let's look at the short term. All right, so remember the short term is we go back to political calculations, and this is where the challenge is. If we go to 2000 January, then we go here to 2003 March 2003. Yeah, y'all can see that, right? Check this out. Ooh. So let's look at the two comparisons. $100,000 in the 20-year treasury is still worth $100,000. I mean, it could be worth a little bit more or less, but you know for a fact it's a risk-free asset. It's not going bankrupt. So we're still getting $6,000, whatever we're getting, $6,000 in income, and it hasn't gone down in value. Conversely, this you're still only getting $1,100 of income, roughly, a little bit less because the dividend yields have dropped, or the actual dividend payouts have dropped, and the price has gone down by almost half. Eesh. So you're sitting on $60,000 where it used to be $100,000, and you're still only getting $1,100 of income. That's the issue, man. The short-term stuff can be painful. There's no two ways around that. No two ways around that. But you know, if you have and I hate to say a long-term perspective, because frankly, everyone really, if you're investing, you should have a long-term perspective. If it's over 5 years, I don't. So here's the issue I have to share with people, because I am not. Look, I got no bonds. I got all stocks, or all. I have a couple of individual stocks: VTI, VDIGX, and VBK. And VTV, that's it. Those are my 4 holdings and 2 individual stocks. But I'm not retiring. I'm still gonna have income coming in for the next, hopefully until YouTube cans me. But what I'm saying is that if and I talked to a guy today, I said, man, I just, all Wellesley for the time being. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to avoid his first 2 years of retirement getting spanked. Getting smacked around, spanked is what I meant to say. And we can't have that. And Wellesley, if you look in 2000 and 2001 and 2002, did great. I have no idea if we'll do it again, but I just know the history of Wellesley Income Fund versus S&P 500 during that aughts of 2000. There was no debate. Wellesley smoked it. In fact, let me show you what I'm talking about. So the issue here from my man Don, who got out of bonds and moved to a dividend yield funds. Remember, it's not the yield; it's the growing dividends. I don't care about high yield. I care about growing dividends. I cannot stress this enough. High yield tells me it's not. There's no growth there. Growing dividends means something to me for sure. But remember, you could have a 3-year time where you're just getting spanked around for sure. Now, the nice thing about dividends, though, is that if you look at the dividend funds, they didn't get nearly spanked like growth funds did in 2001 and 2. Because the value stocks underperformed. Whoa, doesn't that sound familiar? Value stocks underperformed in the late 90s. And so when the growth stocks took on the chin, value stocks did not take it on the chin until 2002, but they were up in 2000, 2001. So value stocks, i.e. the dividend payers, survived just fine. Now, they got spanked in 2008. They got spanked in 2002, but that was it. And so value stocks have underperformed for the last 10, certainly the last 5 compared to growth. It's almost like we're going through deja vu all over again. It's crazy. Will that happen? I don't know. But anyway, I told this guy, I said, man, he's just getting ready to retire in May. I said, just hang tight in the Wellesley. Give it a year and a half, 2 years. Get your feet on the ground in retirement. Just make sure we don't get walloped like what happened in October 2007 to March of 2009, or March of 2001, 2000 to March of 2003. Can't have that. So I'm just like, man, just keep it up stupid. Now, with that said, Wellesley is still 40% in dividend stocks. I mean, it's not all bonds. Just be advised. So anyway, that's my thing. I was getting. Oh, let me just show you guys something else too. So let's go over to. I was showing this guy here this today too while we're doing our financial plan. Is I say, look, man, at the end of the day, when you've won the game, stop playing. And that doesn't mean you get out of the market. It just says, look, no reason to take short-term risk given where we are right now relative to growth stocks versus value stocks. Look, there's no way this market is sustainable. That doesn't mean anyone get out. It just means let's refocus on the dividend stocks. We can't get spanked around. All right, so let me show you something. This is why I showed this guy today. We're going to look at Wellesley. We're going to do DWINX. We're going to do 100, and we're going to look at VFINX. Oops, and then right there. All right, so let's just look at the S&P 500 versus the Wellesley from 2000 to 2009. And we just put $10,000 in, we're reinvesting dividends, and that's it. So what we'll see here is, here is the S&P 500 in red, $10,000 or $100,000, it doesn't matter. It ended the decade at $9,000. So you're still down 10% after 10 years time. That's without taking any distributions off. Wellesley, on the other hand, went from 10,000 to basically 20,000. All right, so that's about a 7.2% return each and every year. All right, so the Wellesley didn't hit home runs, but it hit good solid singles and doubles year in, year out. Look at this. Here's the Wellesley, tooth and blue, 2000, 1 and 2 positive returns. The only thing it did is in 2008, it was down less than 10%. Not too shabby, man. So we hit doubles and singles, man. I'll take that any day of the week in retirement. Now, if we start taking income from this, we're just going to withdraw a fixed amount. We're going to say $5,000 a year. Well, not 5,000. That'd be 500 because let's just put $100,000 in there. 5,000 a year, adjusted for inflation for the first 10 years. It's going to get even uglier for S&P 500. Check this out. All right, so here's S&P 500. We're down to freaking $29,000, and you can't recover. Here's Wellesley. We're still at 122, even though we're taking 5,000 a year out adjusted for inflation. I mean, this right here, we're doomed. All right, so now let's check this out. All right, so let's go down to, we're going to do 2000 to 2000 in the end of 2020. And I think the S&P 500, ran out of money in 2017. So your goose is cooked. It's only 17 years in, you're done. Whereas the Wellesley's sitting on 156,000. That's with taking 5,000 a year out, adjusted for inflation, by the way. So you can see there's just, all right. So now we just go to we'll go 2010 to 2020. In the same scenario here, amigos. So, whoa, look at that. S&P 500 is at 300,000. I think that was with taking money out too. Let me double check. Yep. Taking 5% a year out, 5,000 a year adjusted for inflation. And the S&P 500 is at 300,000, where Wellesley is only at 144. So Wellesley did fine in both of those scenarios where S&P 500 ran out of money in one, and one it kicked butt and take names. But if I'm retired, I want to minimize some of this to avoid. I think it's worth minimizing some of this to avoid what happened before, if that makes sense. So that's what taking money out. We don't even take any money out because, like someone said about required distributions and all that. I mean, the S&P 500 is just going to smoke it. Check this out. I mean, look at this. S&P 500 without taking any distributions up to like, I think 400% or something like that. Yeah, right here. Yeah, it's up to 415. So it quadrupled in those 10 years. Wellington still did 233. Wellesley, not too shabby. Not too shabby. So at the end of the day, you can see why I'm a fan of Wellesley, because I'm more concerned that we're going to be going into a market like we had in the aughts than we're going to have another decade like this. This is just, look, I hate to say no way. What's it based on, man? Sniffy Joe's infrastructure plan? Silly. So anyway, at the end of the day, I'm sitting there thinking, if I'm retired or about to retire or in that time frame where I just put my retirement boots on, I have no idea what the grounds underneath me is going to be like, I'm going Wellesley just to protect the bottom line. If I'm still plugging away, just go to VTI and just be done with it. VTI or bust for sure. Hope that makes sense. All right, so let's stop that. All right. Hey, my man CB was RTO, radio something operator in Afghanistan, exchanged call signs and frequency between the birds and the ground troops. All right. I'll get the W&M chair. What's W&M? I forgot what we... Donna says she needs to retire in 5 weeks, need to find a part-time job. Well, where do you live, Donna? Put your skill set where you're at. There might be someone on here who can hire you. Harry says the government gave the airlines billions of good point. Delta already got paid from the government. Pop Stew says the Delta fuel rebate is a smokescreen. House Republicans did, but Senate voted down. Yeah. The governor would have vetoed it anyway. There you go, man. We got squish. All right, so what? At the end of the day, they fought back a little bit, and they said, we're going to do this. The Senate would have voted it down. Delta gets to, say, look, Black Lives Matter. Don't come protest us. We did say the voting thing was racist. And the Republicans get to say they get to keep their freaking, their electoral victory in that regard in terms of clean and fair elections on the books, most likely. And then some of the more conservative Republicans get to say, we tried. 2022, we got a whole new slate of elections, and it'll be fun to see for sure. But at the end of the day, sometimes you got to lose, take a step back to gain two steps. Exactly what happened. I think that's what happened in 2020. I do. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think the country is ready to go full woke. We're not UK. UK is lost. Europe is lost. There's no other way around that. We're not them. We're just not. And as such, I think this might invigorate enough people say, this ain't right. Something's got to be fixed. And it's not going to be a Tea Party politeness. We tried in 2009 to be polite. And they still call us racist, Nazis, all that stuff. It's crazy. This time I don't think we're going to be as polite. This time I think we're going to be up and ready to go. It's not our capital resurrection, whatever the hell that thing was, silly. But this time we're saying, no, we're not tolerating you guys anymore. We're not playing that game. We're not trying to get along because you never want to get along with us. And as such, I think Republicans are going to be ready to go. I think about Joe Miller, who won the Senate Republican primary in 2010, beating Murkowski. And then a lot of Republicans, I think, were nervous about Joe Miller because he's Tea Party. And, they were like, oh, my goodness, Sarah Palin made us look stupid and all that. And they said, we just got to throw someone moderate so they'll like us. And I think we know after 10 years, they hate you. Like Trump said. Well, I don't know if Trump said it, but it was true. But Trump ultimately said it. He goes, look, man, it's not me they hate. It's you. It's you, the middle America. And I completely agree. I think most people say, I know I do. I do. Hell. I mean, look, I was on a George W. Bush bandwagon like big time. And then, I saw Obama, I saw Bush. I said, so many similarities here. So many similarities. And then Mittens came out, and I said, I voted for Mittens. I think I even gave him a little bit of money. I said, yeah, so many similarities. And finally, I don't know what it is, a black pill. It's not even a red pill anymore. So you say, yeah, these guys are all the same. 2016, when they were desperate to get Jeb up there, they hated anyone talk about policing up the borders. I said, I don't understand. If you got no control of your borders, you got no country, man. You know what I'm saying? No one argues that except for the libs and the corporate American types on the Republican Party. Anyway, Mushke says, I have 300,000 in 4.5 years till my pension kicks in. I'm scared. Why? Why are you scared? I mean, just for simplicity, we take that's 60,000 a year if we factor in taxes. I'm good. My eyes are dry. So 60,000 a year if we factor taxes, right? That's 5,000 a month. But I don't know what other income you have, but I don't think you have debt if memory serves. So it looks like Indiana. Donna lives in Indiana, right on. So anyone in Indiana can give old Donna. No, I'm not old Donna. Give Donna a job. All right. I live in Michigan. Love my home state. Born and raised. Governor Whitmer is a nut. Lots of people from Chicago moving there. Probably because they're at least Michigan's safe compared to Chicago. Are they red from Chicago or are they blue? Yeah, I've always wondered that myself too. I don't know how that name gets highlighted. I've always wondered that because I comment on some other people's live chats too, Mushke, and I said, how'd they do that? Where's Maine? Oh, Maine had 4 electoral things. All right. JJ Swanson says, in retirement, 2 bucket system, should stock index fund dividends be utilized first? Or remember, there's no such orders. Regardless, it's regardless. 2 buckets should stock index funds dividends. I just look. I'm a big fan of reinvesting dividends anyway. I do believe the total return. Some people say I'm going to live off the dividends. You got to have a lot of money in those index funds to live off the dividends. That's in my opinion. If you have that kind of scratch, yeah, just live off the dividends, man, without question. That takes a lot of money. I mean, you think about $1 million with an S&P 500, you're only getting 25,000 of dividends, if even that. It takes a lot of scratch to live off the dividends. So if I'm looking at, I'm reinvesting into the things I'm just pulling from the portfolio. It's a total return, that's for sure. Right on, Linda, you got it. Amazon's union vote was by mail-in ballot. It looks like a done deal. Are they voting for the union? All right, so Mushke says, should I use 4 years expensive from stock mutual funds to cash in my foreign? Make sure, we want to make sure you don't get spanked there, Mushke. And I don't know your whole big picture, but yes, I would much rather, if your pension plus Social Security are going to cover your expenses, but you got to wait for 4 years to get it, you got to make sure you don't take a 35% hit. Look, it's just all there is to it, man. You're a short-term investor for this specific area of your retirement. Just take the risk off the table. You need 4 years cash. I mean, I always say 4 years cash. If you don't have 4 years cash and the 300,000 is what you got, and your pension and Social Security, once that kicks in, will be enough to pay your bills. Well, that seems pretty self-evident to me. You got to have 4 years. You don't have to. People should have 4 years cash in retirement. Not having 4 years cash, I think, is a mistake of drastic proportions for sure. Exactly. Yeah, who cares about the All-Star game? They all kiss my big fat behind. Maine Northern Captain, 2nd Congressional District is generally conservative. Exactly. Maine is like most states. There's a split. You got the freaking idiots in Portland and Southern Maine. And then you got the rest of the state, the rural, more blue collar, more gun owners, more just basically get the hell out of me, man. Don't forget, that's what I was telling some guy today. Paul LePage won Maine the first time in 2010, I think. It was a 3-way race. So an independent took a lot of the Democratic votes. And so all these people made like, yeah, he didn't win a majority. It's like, wait, how ironic? Because this is what we used to say about Clinton in 2000 and in 1992. He only won 43% of the vote. Clinton did. You know what I'm saying? And Bob Dole idiotically said, I represent the 57% of the people who didn't vote for Clinton. You're like, no, you didn't, fool. But anyway, they said the same thing about Paul LePage. And just like Clinton, LePage ran again and he won again. And going away. Clinton never got 50%. I don't remember if LePage did or not, but crazy LePage, supposedly he won, pretty significantly in 2014 as a Trump before there was a Trump. That's for sure. But he said a lot of mean things. Oh no, did he offend you, snowflakes, because he talks like a regular person? Oh, I'm so triggered. This freaking Twitter stuff, man. No one, who cares what people say on Twitter? This is, look, and some of you who follow me, Trump was spot on for 3 of the 4. And then that last year, I don't know what the hell he was doing. I'm still just mystified. And now he's bagging on freaking Fauci and stupid Birx. I'm like, well, Trump, personnel is policy, man. And you're the one who allowed these people to He's like, yeah, they were idiots. Well, why'd you freaking retain them? Why'd you give them the mic? Should have sent them packing, man. I mean, you're the boss. That's one thing about Trump is like, dude, you screwed that up big time. And I don't know, like, again, Pence was in charge of the stupid COVID thing. Well, Pence was relying on, I don't know who to blame. At the end of the day, the buck stops with Trump. And Trump had freaking Birx and Fauci as his go-to people. And they both are freaking dumb as rocks, man. And Trump wants to blame Birx and Fauci. I'm like, why are we crazy? All right. All right, here we go. No debt, paid off house, monthly expenses, $3,500 a month. There we go. So you got monthly expenses, you got $300,000, and you need $3,500 a month, and Social Security and pension will be more than enough. You got 4 years. Oh yeah, put that in cash and just live off it, man. Absolutely. No. Man, stop being scared. Nothing to be scared of. Even if you got no income, no interest, 33,000 divided by 3,100. My trusted calculator says that'll last for 97 months. 97 months divided by 12 is 8 years, Mushkey. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. All right. Look, see, Dan, this isn't even working. I like this. See, people don't understand. Like, why do you do so many videos? Because it's freaking fun, dude. I love seeing all these trolls on here. It's fun. People like someone said today, like, what's your degree in science? Because I love that stuff because it's idiotic. It's just fun, man. It's fun. When you are free from the corporate America, and you can say whatever the hell you want to say to some regard. I mean, if I say anything about the V, I guarantee I'll be banned. But when you're free from the monstrosity as corporate America, and you get to fight back, because if you're on the right, how dare you say anything like white lives matter? Oh my God, you said white lives matter because Boulder. You can't say that. Of course, we all say saying that doesn't make you racist. Stop, stupid. If you think it's racist, you're an idiot. That's all there is to it. All lives matter. White lives matter too, which is why it pisses me off that no one says anything about the murders in Boulder. But they'll say immediately the same day, they'll say, well, stop Asian violence. I agree with 100%. Stop white violence. Stop black violence. Stop brown violence. Stop yellow violence. The whole thing. Stop it all. It's crazy. Because you know why? Because I am a Jesus freak. And something tells me that Jesus did not die for a certain group of people with a certain tone of skin color. Something tells me Jesus died for all humanity. Crazy. And so if Jesus died for all humanity, who am I to be racist against anyone of God's creation? You stupid. However, when people are freaking just jumping on the corporate bandwagon and saying, if you say all lives matter, as opposed to explicitly Black Lives Matter, you could lose your job, which happened to a principal in Vermont. She lost her job because she says all lives matter. Heaven forbid you say blue lives matter. That's nuts. So I get to say it. I don't care. And the thing is, I know people. I know there's more of us than them. So when I say it, trust me, you're being brave. No, you're not being brave. You're saying, look, dude, common sense. These idiots. I like the Michael Malice. You follow him? He trolls people. It's awesome. The Turtle Boy from TB Daily News, who trolls people. Not just trolls people, but takes these people out. Cancer Culture for the cancelers, which is awesome. Oh, anyway, so I heard something yapping. It's fun. So you get to fun it. Like, I don't care. I mean, whatever. Someone's got to stand up, and so I enjoy it. So anyway, I just I love it, man. Now, how long will I take clients? I don't know. I mean, I have a love-hate relation. Not hate. I got busy in February, and it stressed me out. So I'm not going to lie to you, with clients. And I just said I can't get this busy. So I had to. I started limiting how many I actually was emailing people. Like, look, I'll be happy to crunch some numbers, but it's going to take a couple weeks. I got to clear out my calendar, and that stressed me out, Dan. I just like, ugh. So at some point, at probably by the end of this year, I'll stop taking clients and I have annual reviews with the clients that are already in my system, if that makes sense. And then I'll probably just do annual reviews for people. I won't make as much money as I am now because my fee's not low. But that I was stressed out. I'm not gonna lie to you. January and February were nuts, and I was just like, whew, it was too much, and I didn't like that. And I like this, but I also like talking to clients too. Like, just talking to guys. There's people up in Oregon today, a guy in Huntsville, Alabama today. These two people talk. A couple of people on here I talked to. Just as fun, man. Huntington Beach. It's just fun. People in Maine, like I talked to a lady in Maine yesterday. It's just freaking. Actually, I get a lot of people in Michigan and Minnesota too. Haven't had many people in Texas lately. Last year, I say the bulk of my clients from Texas. So I'm not sure if I'm not showing up in the algorithm in Texas or what, but whatever. But it's nuts. It's just fun, hearing experiences from people. You learn the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's fun. And then I gotta say, it's rewarding. It makes you feel good when people say, "You don't know how helpful you've been." I'm like, really? It's funny. All right, so Kurt says, after subtracting a standard deduction, how much in qualified dividends can a single taxpayer on Social Security? So we take our trusty 2021 tax thing. All right, so if you make no more than $40,000 as taxable income, that's after standard deduction. So if you're single, it's probably about $52,000. So as long as you stay below $40,000, you'll have no qualified dividend, no tax on your qualified dividends or your long-term capital gain. Now, remember, people don't understand this. I'm telling you right now, it's simple. If you have no income but qualified dividends and long-term capital gain, and you have $100,000 of qualified dividends, some of that will be subject to 15% tax. People say, no, it won't. Yes, it will. Just trust me on that. That will put you above the threshold of the $40,000 of taxable income, which means that a portion of that $100,000 for qualified dividends or long-term capital gain will be subject to income tax. That's just a fact. I can't tell you how many people, advisors, say you can have $1 million of dividends and not pay tax. Like that's scares me to death. Yep. They say someone said, I was reading something today, said, who was it? To change society, you got to change the children. Or you got to educate the children to change society. And he was saying like to show children not to be racist or something like that. I said, yeah, that's what the left-wing people have done. All right. My teacher, all right. Tesla reinvest back. Yep. They don't do buybacks or dividends. Unemployment numbers are fake anyway, pushing that Wuhan virus. Shh. Ooh, Harry's being called on the market, on the carpet. Harry, what's up, man? You're saying everything was up, but Tesla's down. What's up? Nicholas, yeah, there we go. There's Lynn. Nicholas Merriweather. My cousin was just on Tucker after winning 6th quarter. Hey, that's freaking awesome. Right on. Was he just on Tucker today? That's fantastic. And you know what? You know why? By the Alliance for Defending Freedom. Put that in your pipe, lefties. But it takes money for this stuff, my friends. It takes money. I'm telling you. Takes contributions to fight these clowns because the left, they got all the money in the world because I'll give it. Because look, man, they're all rich, freaking kids. We know that. They're a bunch of, what's her name, Mackenzie Bezos and the Walmart trustafarians and the Disney trustafarians, all these freaking rich, spoiled brats who've never worked a day in their life. They're just rich. They're like, I'm so rich, I'm guilty. I'm going to give all my money to those SPCL or SPLC to stop hate. Yeah, all fakers. We call them trustafarians. Indiana's a pretty good state. It's red. We know that. But the problem with Indiana, it does have some taxes you got to be considering. That's a fact. Chevy Volts and Leafs are for those guys. Tesla's a man's guy. Oh, man. How about a Prius, man? What could be the best states to move to retirement? That's a great question. I think the first thing you got to look at is property tax. Property tax is always the bugaboo. So Texas for me is off. Now there are some places in Texas, not many, but there are some counties that are not nearly as bad as you would think. New Hampshire, some counties in New Hampshire, not nearly as bad as you think, but by and large, the states with high property taxes, you got to be careful of. Virginia. I love Virginia. Western Virginia is freaking, I love it. West Virginia in of itself, I probably will never end up living there, but it's a wonderful state. Western Virginia is cheap, wonderful people. Georgia's fantastic. I mean, it's too hot down here for me. I can't. I'm going through another summer. I love being out in the garden, but the summertime kicks in here. It's just the deep south. I can't. It's just, we're going to move north someplace. That's for sure. It's just too much for me. I'm just a poor kid from Maine. You know what I'm saying? I served in the Army in upstate New York. Woo, these winters are fantastic, but the summers decimate me out because I'm out in the garden and it's ugly. And I am a paley, that's for sure. And so as such, I'm not sure I'm cut out for the deep south, even though I've been here for a long time. And but we lived in Western Virginia and Rockham County. I freaking loved it, man. So for me, I'm looking at like that whole 81 corridor over by Lexington. Maryland, believe it or not, is a good state. It's freaking gorgeous as all can be, but they don't respect freedom. Can't live there. Delaware is pretty favorable for taxes and stuff, but they don't respect freedom that much. They're good on taxes, but for firearms, can't live there. Mask mandates, screw your stupid mask mandates. Indiana's a good state. Midwest doesn't do anything for me. At least I think. It's hard to see living in the Midwest. Tennessee always is up, top on the list. Seems like I'm missing one. Wyoming, I can't handle the wind. We're at a game today for my daughter. It's windy as all. When the wind wasn't blowing, it's fine. It was when the wind was blowing, I was like, man, freezing. So for me, if I had to, it'd be East Texas, Huntsville, Alabama, and then we escape during but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I can handle that. East Texas, Huntsville, Alabama, Blue Ridge, Georgia, the mountains of Georgia, all the way up to Western Carolina, not Asheville, but around, get out of Asheville, but other places in Western Carolina, mid Tennessee across the board. You can't go wrong in Tennessee. Western Virginia, West Virginia, and then New Hampshire. And I'll never move to Arizona. We lived in Arizona. Prescott, Arizona, I would love to live there. Look, man, I'm telling you, at the end of the day, everything revolves around water. And if you're familiar with Arizona, there ain't no water. They get it from the Colorado River. What happens if they say, if you're not taking a mask mandate, your town, we're going to shut off water to your town if you don't mandate masks or vaccines or just something? What happens if something happens to the system, terrorist bombing or something, there's no water? What are you going to do? You can't grow food, no water. You can't live with no water. And then it's hot as crazy too. So as much as I love Prescott, Arizona, that was one of the, I remember telling my wife this back during the freaking the 2000, the millennial thing. When it went from 1999 to 2000, I stocked up on water. I said, look, man, we don't live in a place that has water. There's not abundant water. If something goes wrong, we're going to need something to drink. She thought I was a madman. She still thinks I'm a madman until I am proven right when we need stuff. That's the thing about being a prepper. Everyone hates you until you're the man. I'm like, yeah, lady, yeah. She knows. She comes along every now and again. That old ball and chain right there, who I love to death, by the way. Not sure the feeling's mutual though, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so Arizona's nice. It's favorable. Not me for Nevada. Nope. And Wyoming is freaking awesome, but it's just too windy for me. South Dakota. I went to South Dakota. Property taxes are relatively high, moderately high for sure. But, western part of South Dakota is fantastic. Rapid City, I love it. It's just, for me, it was just a little bit too like living out there, if that makes sense. It was kind of like Rapid City and nothing else around. I mean, when I say nothing else, it's relatively small city, and it wasn't it for me. And the West can kiss my butt. Even though Washington State. Have you ever been to Washington State? Oh my! Forget stupid Seattle. I'm just talking about Washington State. I mean, you think the Smoky Mountains are freaking gorgeous. You gotta watch. I mean, I know the Colorados, but man, those mountains in Washington State, that was the most beautiful state, other than maybe in terms of with everything, mountains and freaking, you got the water. I'm still mystified how gorgeous that state was. Can you imagine being Lewis and Clark, or the first people who came across Sierra Nevada, and just, I mean, can you imagine just how, it's insane. And it's so flipping gorgeous. And it has no income tax, and property tax aren't that bad. You go down to Oregon for no sales tax, but you got to deal with the lefty politics, man. And it's sad because Eastern Washington, Eastern Oregon are right wing, but they're dominated by the crazies. And, and these people are crazy. Anyway. Should my recently retired uncle stay mostly in bonds if inflation starts? I don't know enough about his situation, man, so I don't know the answer to that. We wish they'd lose electricity. Well, they're gonna, man. Wait, California, you watch. There is no fixing stupid until emergencies. You think about this. Not only, I mean, it's not only are they mandating EVs, electric vehicles, all right, but they're also eliminating sources to provide that electricity from dirty fuel sources. Can you imagine waking up every day like an idiot like AOC or those people in California and think just because you pass some law, the laws of physics no longer apply? It's just as idiotic. We're going to mandate more load, all right, on the grid, but we're going to reduce our capacity to power said grid. It's insane. Did you hear? I read this the other day. Do I even have it up there? Maybe I don't. Did you hear about in Spain what they were doing to get their carbon emissions down and to show that they're really green energy? They're running diesel generators and pretending that what was being put into the grid was some solar panels, solar photovoltaic panels, was actually diesel generators that were running to put the electricity on the grid. And someone just happened to say, why are we getting electricity from solar in the middle of the night? And they looked into it like the media would think would do. And I said, oh, they're running diesel generators just to get the subsidies. Crazy. My man David here says, are stocks in a rotation? What's going on with drop? I don't get what that means. The stocks, I just think value stocks are always the way to go for sure, because you're getting the dividends while they're getting smoked. And on top of that, right now, they're underwhelming relative to growth. In fact, I haven't. Oh, man. Dave is telling Harry Tesla's for feminine men. Ooh, Harry's not happy with you. All right, so let's take a look at VUG. It's on, guys. It's on. VUG today was up $4, but it's trading at 261. And so VUG was off of its low of 145 to 261. So in the last 53 weeks, VUG, that's the Vanguard Growth Index Fund, is up 47%. And that's without dividends, but it doesn't pay much dividends anyway. Look at that, man. That's nuts. Now, what has VTV done? All right, so VUG is the Vanguard Growth Index. VTV is the Vanguard Value Index. My largest holding by far. That was at 84 in March. Now it's at 132. So 132 minus 84 divided by, so that's up 57%. So VUG is underperformed relative to VTV for the last year, not much. But don't forget, VTV has a 2.45% dividend yield as of right now, where VUG is only 0.65. So VTV has outperformed VUG. Values outperformed growth in terms of the Vanguard indices for the last year. Not significantly, but that time will come. All right, so let's see what I got down here. Yeah, Florida. I don't know how you guys love Florida so much, man. Look, I'm a big DeSantis fan. DeSantis 2024, but Florida doesn't do much for me at all. I will say, when we went to Tampa, that was in the wintertime, though, to go see the Bruins. We saw the Bruins play their lightning play 4 or 5 years ago. We used to follow the Bruins around. We'd go to one game. We saw them in Nashville, Carolina, Tampa. And my daughter and I saw them at the Winter Classic in Boston against the Canadiens. Seems like I'm missing one of the places where they would have gone. But anyway, that was fun. And I liked it a lot down there because it was on the water. But that's in the wintertime. And I just tell you, man, I can't. The humidity just eats me alive. Eat me alive. Who sings that song? Eat me alive. Anyone know? Poppy Love says, I'm going to say, it says she. I can make 300,000 last at least 7 years. Yeah, but each person is different, man. All right. So much going on in a lot of states. We talk about like what the states are doing to freaking tell the DC elite to freaking shut the hell up. I hope so. All right, Stu, Disco Stu. I was going out in July but early, but now December to get more money annual leave. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's the thing. If you got FU money, pardon my French, you can hang in there for a couple more months. You just bite your tongue and say, whatever, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. Yeah, you got one life, Donna. That's it, man. If you're hating your crappy old job, sometimes it's advice. Hey, look, and I don't know. Don't take this. I have no idea who you are. I don't know anything about you. I do know a lot of people when they hate their crappy old jobs, they take to eating more than they should and crap because it relieves some of the stress and they get put on pounds. Their blood sugar goes up, blood pressure goes up. They get out of shape, and that's just bad. I'm telling you, man. I wish, I was watching this. Let me see if I can't. Well, I guess whatever. I was watching these videos from Maine. Let me see if I can't find it. I just subscribed, actually. If I can find the channel, I'll show it to you. Yeah, right here. All right, cool. There it is. So let me find this. You'll get a kick out of this. It's just. Hold on just a second. All right, where is my subscription? Hey, Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy is live right now too. That rat think. I'm live, dog. All right, hold on just a second. I go to subscriptions. Oops. Hey, what happened? All right. Oop, that's not where I want to go. Hey, man, how come I can't find my? There we go. All right, so right here. All right, cool. All right, there we go. Videos. All right, so let me bring you guys up to show you what I'm doing here. All right, so Northeast Historic Films. I don't think it's just about Maine, but it's great. You look at some of these videos, and they're all Casco Day. So let's watch, and I hopefully this doesn't demonetize. Well, I don't know what will happen. This guy doesn't have enough, so we'll see. But anyway, I'm just going to go right here. Just watch how skinny everybody was. I'm telling you, man. I love there's a guy named David Hoffman on YouTube. You should watch his channel. He's fantastic. He does all these old Just look how skinny everybody is. That's not very, you can't really see that with those. Everybody's skinny. I mean, it's just, where was that, buddy? Anyway, so watch the Thomas House. We had a Thomas House in Dayton, Virginia. Anyway, so David Hoffman has all kinds of great videos, like old school videos. It's fun to watch his stuff. I love David Hoffman's channel. But anyway, everyone's skinny, and I'm not skinny. I can stand to lose 10. You know what I'm saying? But you can't. And I'm not trying to chastise anybody. I'm just not. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, the one thing you can do is, if you hate your job, it could literally be killing you, man. And that's not worth it. It's not worth it. Let me, as I always do, let me just go back to my website, and we're going to show you. Front page of my website. I know that there's nothing better for men than to rejoice and do good while they live. Ecclesiastes. Hey, did I say it right? Ecclesiastes? Ecclesiastes? I always screw that up. Ecclesiastes 3:12. I know there's nothing better for men than to rejoice and do good while they live. You are not put on this earth to sit in an hour of traffic in order to slave away at a cubicle for 8 hours a day, only sit in another hour of traffic to get home to your family. You got bigger things to accomplish, to use your talents in a way that gets you fired up, motivated, and ready to take on the world. Well, I can hear you now. Easier for you to say, Josh, but I've got a mortgage. I got to pay this. I got that. Interesting. But how do you know it can't still be done? Because some online tool? Because some advisor who gets paid by managing your money says you need 8 times salary to retire? Because healthcare costs can bankrupt you? Where's the evidence of this? Maybe, just maybe, it's time for a different viewpoint from someone who doesn't get paid to sell you stuff. Maybe, just maybe, today's the day to plan on living the life you're meant to. Blessings to you. And, oh, yeah, by the way, avoid this TSP catastrophe right there. That's from my man Chris Barfield's right there. And he said I could use that. I mean, look, I don't know what anyone's circumstances are, but oh my goodness, Susie Orman, Susie. I was talking to a lady, my lady up in Maine, and she bought a living trust because Susie Orman said she should get a living trust. I'm like, but the house isn't in the trust. The house isn't in the trust, and so you bought I'm not yelling at this woman. I'm just like, why do you trust? Her kids are fine. She got, older adult kids. I think one's, about to get married to a nice man. He's not a freaking crackhead. There's no reason for a trust, man. But Susie Orman, she didn't say this. I'm just be advised. I'm just sitting there thinking, for the love of me, I talked to a guy today, and he, who was that? Was it yesterday? He named his beneficiaries to one beneficiary to divide amongst his other children. I'm like, don't do that. Yeah, that's, and just, that has nothing to do with retirement. But I'm just sitting there thinking, we hear all these freaking horror stories that we're all going to go bankrupt. There's no evidence of it. None at all. None. There might be anecdotal, like say, oh my goodness, I remember I had a lady I knew quite well. I knew her very, very well. And she lived in Franklin, Virginia. And then when she got old, she moved down. She sold her house in Franklin, Virginia, and moved to a long-term care facility in Harrisonburg, Virginia, at $6,000 a month. How did she afford it? Social Security in her house that she sold in Franklin, Virginia, in Franklin, West Virginia. But Josh, yeah, okay. You haven't thought about that, had you? Not you, Donna. Susie Orman, but I got debit cards to sell. Don't you know? I got debit cards to sell. I'll kiss my big. Yeah, that's right. Harry. The administration is giving zombie companies all the taxpayer dollars they want, as long as they fall in line. Yeah, but Trump did the same. That's the thing about Trump's here, man. He wasn't far removed from being a big spender. Show us the dividend in Wellesley and Wellington and the VDGIX. I don't know how to do that on that. It doesn't do it on portfolio calculator. I'm sure there's a way. I don't know how to. Off the top of my head, I don't know how to do it just to show you the dividends. You'd have to kind of probably manually do those. I'm sure it's not that hard Just see what it paid. You know, you go to finance.yahoo.com, they'll tell you exactly what it paid. Jeremy's got to get back to studying. Dude, wimp. It's freaking Thursday night. It's party night. But Jeremy said, I can't go out to party with the fellas. I got to study for homework. The homework is so important. Yeah. Weak. Jeremy knows I'm just joking. Would I take 100,000 invested all at once or even portions over time? Depends on, I mean, there's so many things to depend on, man. How old you are, what we're trying to accomplish. I mean, I don't know. Hey, Dave Charlton, what's up, big man? Alabama in the house. All right. If inflation is a serious concern, why is gold underperforming? It's supposed to be a hedge against inflation. But, all right, I'm not sure if Harry's pulling my chain here, but there's no evidence at all that gold is a hedge against, I think Harry probably knows this, but there's no evidence that gold is a hedge against inflation. Can we stop this insanity that inflation, gold is a hedge? What? No, there's no evidence that inflation is offset by freaking gold. None. What is gold? Gold is for calamities. That's what gold is. Gold is for, we go back to barter. That's what gold is. Gold is not an investment. And by the way, it costs so much to store gold, Josh. Are you freaking kidding me? A freaking ounce of gold is probably weighs less than this right here. I don't have an ounce right here, but I don't even know if I got a coin. An ounce of gold is a big fat nothing. It doesn't cost you anything to store gold. I hear this all the time, but the cost to store gold away. All right, so if you had 10 ounces, hell, if you had 16 ounces, that's a pound of gold. That's what, $30,000. That costs you a lot of money to store. Well, hell, I'll charge you $10 a month to store that for you. Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it right here. I'll put it on a lock and key in a fireproof box, and I'll store it for you for $10 a month. Come on. I hear all these arguments. Gold is a hedge against inflation. That's stupid. Gold, it costs too much to store. It doesn't pay a dividend. Gold is not an investment, man. Gold is protection. It's an insurance against calamities. That's all there is to it, which is why you got to be careful buying nothing but ounces of gold, because ounces are worth a lot of money. So if you just need some freaking some food for a week's time, you shell out an ounce of gold. That's not going to be a good price for you. So you want to make sure you have quarters, not quarter, the 25-cent pieces, but quarter ounces, tenths of an ounce. Silver, get some silver too. Silver's cheap, absolutely. I mean, you got to have some gold coins. You got to have some silver coins, but just be careful of overloading yourself with ounces, as everybody does, because you're like, how do I exchange an ounce and get cash back? You can't. Tejas, right on. Hey, I love the uneducated economist. Simon Garfunkel. He isn't classically trained like Josh. Not sure I said it's classically trained. Not sure the Austrian school would be considered classically trained economists. That's for damn sure. And I never took econometrics because I like numbers, but numbers based on inherent errors errors just bore me. Like, okay, we can crunch these numbers all to death to scratch each other's back. Has nothing to do with reality, though. Actually, I was watching a let me see if I can't find it. Is it MRU? No. I was watching this video. Yeah, let's see if we can't find this. You make me feel like dancing. Gonna dance the night away. You make me feel like dancing. So this is DuckDuckGo, of course. We don't use Google. And MRU, marginal revolution. That's it. And not principal. We always want micro as opposed to macro. Macro is silly. Micro is real. I love microeconomics, as you should too. Let's see here. Graduate student funding, but I want to. They had something on econometrics in here. Let's see here. I think Tyler Cowan. He's been on a number of podcasts last couple of years. What was I looking for? I was looking for econometrics. I like he's an economist. He's a PhD, smart guy. I think some of these guys are. And I like Tyler. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to say cocky. It's not what I'm looking for. Just because they're economists, they don't have all the answers, if that makes sense. And I don't know why we have this esteem towards economists. It's weird to me. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have it. I just say at the end of the day, just because they're economists doesn't mean squat, man. The economics department was invented to make the astrology department look good, if that makes sense. Anyway, they got a couple good videos on econometrics in here, but I'm not going to be able to find it off the top of my head. I said, okay. This guy right here, he teaches right here, Introduction to Econometrics. I think, that's the book. That's where economics went off the rails. Reading with Paul Samuelson crap, which I hate, and but because you hate it because you're not that good at math, maybe, but it's not relevant to the reality of the world, by the way. Oh, stop freaking out, Muskie. He's got a freaking house paid for. If he needs to, you can always do a reverse mortgage. Stop. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Don't you worry. Yeah, I think that's 100. Man, Harry, that's a great point. The big players, oh, this is going to trigger some people here. The big players aren't into gold. They would. I completely agree with what Harry's saying here, and I wish I could say it in Mandarin. I can't. My wife's parents could speak Mandarin, by the way. Yep, crazy, huh? I can't. Harry's always telling us we're going to speak Mandarin. Anyway, the big players would be running up gold price now if inflation was a serious threat in their view. I could not agree with that more. You know what the big players are running up? All right, see, I'm going to go all the way down to comments. Take a guess. What are the big players running up? Hey, Lydia's here. Right on. It's not Tesla. There's one thing the big players are running up that is not gold. What else would it be? What else would it be? Oops. Let's see if anyone has a gan. Look at Bill, man. Bill wins the cake. I haven't checked Palladium. Hey, Carl, you can comment? Carl can comment now? I did not know that. All right. Carl's back. I thought you were banned. Is that the same Carl? Bitcoin. Big players run up Bitcoin. Do you really think that the idea that Bitcoin is going to be able to freaking provide you against a falling dollar? I don't get it, man. I just look at that. I said that okay. I find that to be the most asinine argument ever. The dollar's going to fall off a cliff, so Bitcoin will rescue us. Okay. I was listening to my man Owen Benjamin today, and who you guys? Oh, Mike. I got out of jail. Right on. All right. Oh, that's funny. Land to some degree. I agree with that. I agree with that, guys. But and he was saying the best investment. Yeah, I agree with this to some degree. I mean, I don't agree with everything the dude says. Always got to validate that because people say, "Oh, isn't he crazy?" Whatever. One of the best ROIs, return on investment, is raising your own food. I completely agree. It's such a big consideration to just have some food to grow, for sure. That's a huge investment. And this is why and I like solar photovoltaic. For some reason, everyone thinks I'm anti-solar photovoltaic because I love fossil fuels. Those two things are not mutually exclusive at all. Solar PV, the reason I laugh at solar is because now I'm talking photovoltaic, all right? Remember, solar consists of photovoltaic, turning the solar's energy, the sun's energy into electricity. And then you got solar thermal, which you can heat things. So just with the black, make it black. You heat your water by painting it black, and then your tub black, and it will heat. That's great. The idea that solar panels on people's rooftops is going to power our society is so asininely stupid. It's embarrassing to even get in debate with people about that. It's dumb. It's dumb. Some of this I would attribute to ignorance. At this stage in the game, it's just stupidity. It's people were just like, oh, I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to believe that solar. And I hate wind. Wind can kiss my big fat white behind. I'll tell you that right now. I hate wind. It's stupid. It's corrupt. It's evil. It's dangerous, and it's killing innocent animals. And on top of that, it doesn't do anything at all relative to what the promises are. Solar, on the other hand, for local electricity generation, I don't care about the ROI. And people say, but the ROI after 8 years, I don't care. I care about the ideas. You can invest in something that you might not be able to spreadsheet out, but at the end of the day, if it's going to provide you a decent electricity supply, all right, that you can live on, and then you still have fossil fuels, be it propane or something like that, to heat your house or something like that. Dude, I think that's freaking fantastic. I love it. I don't care about the ROI. I don't care about the cost per watt. I care about, can you get that to work for you so you can live as free as you possibly can be, removed from the power structure that freaking the mayor of Los Angeles can turn your freaking electricity off at the drop of a hat because he doesn't like your politics. That's not free, man. So if you got your own food source, water, always need water. You got your own energy. Now remember, electricity is just one part of energy, all right? I cannot tell you how many people mix this up. They'll say, my energy can be provided by solar and wind. No, it's silly. No, it can't. And so as such, we sit there and say, okay, so electricity, if we can get electricity from solar with battery back, you need battery banks for sure. All right. And you can have lead acid batteries. That's fine. You're going to need some, but you're going to need a bunch. But at the end of the day, it can happen. This can happen. You're not going to power your society on solar. It's just not going to happen. Stop it. It's silly. But you can provide your individual society for electricity a decent amount off solar. Absolutely. Still got to heat your house. All right. You still need other things to heat your home. You don't want solar power to heat your home. That's dumb. But if you can do that and you can raise some of your own food and trade for others, I think that's about as best way you can be for free as you can possibly imagine. You're not relying on the mayor of Los Angeles. You're not relying on freaking the dumb butts in your utility says, we're going to raise your price per kilowatt hour because we're going green, but you're not going green. And you're not going to rely on the idiots who say, nuclear is scary. No, I hate CO2, but I hate nuclear too. So we'll just magically, it's just, look at me. I'm the happy man from Happy Land. I'm making people happy. We'll just make electricity come from wind and the sun. Look at me. I'm the happy man from Happy Land. It's freaking idiotic, man. It's nuts. But if you can do that specifically for your own circumstance, it's freaking awesome. Rooftops, great. Ground, built on the ground's better. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. At least anyone who knows something. But you can make that happen. But the whole country can't. Anyway, so I'm not against it. Anyway, the point being is, at the end of the day, one of the best ways to freaking ROI for your own personal liberty is to grow your own food, have a local micro energy source, in this case, electricity and propane. You have to have delivered to you. I get that on occasion. A wood stove for heating, all that stuff, man. It's wonderful, a wonderful resource, and it can kind of escape this whole Bitcoin will save us. Crazy, man. All right. I cannot stress this enough. I completely agree. And the crazy thing is my ability, the way my brain functions, skills are different from other. So everyone thinks like welding is a skill. It is. I got no problem with that. Everyone thinks that carpentry is a skill. It is. I got no problem with that. But there are other skills too. Just how to grow food. You see what I'm saying? Where you can practice without a whole lot of investment into it and just learn, how to start seeds inside. I forgot I had a heated mat to put my seed starters on. I just turned it on last night. I've had it for 3 years. I totally forgot about that. I was like, holy crap. I was like, why is some of my seeds not kicking in the way they should? I got her under my grow lights in the basement. I put them in, basically what you do is you put them in a little Ziploc bag, or you put them in, I got these plastic, ham and, the little hand things that Hillshire Farms ham comes in. I just save all those. I put my seeds in there, keep the top on as almost like a lid to keep the moisture in. It works like a charm. And then I'll take them from there. I'll put them in a little rock wool, or I'll just, I've got some. I try not to bring dirt inside because it does have, the insects are in there. You just don't know about them, but you will soon. So I try to keep it out. But anyway, I put them in rock wool or something like that. And man, so I wet them, and then I have my own little white trash arrow garden thing, which works. Some of my my seeds on my peppers. My red peppers, they weren't sprouting very well. I was like, what the hell's going on? And the reason was I was using the water was too cold. And I said, man, so I moved them from what was happening. They were germinating, but they weren't growing. I was like, what is? And I said, so when I put them in the rock wool under a grow light, and they weren't growing very much. I mean, they were germinating, they were germinated, so they were alive, but they just weren't. And I said, what? And so I felt, ooh. It was cold where I had them. So in the wetness was cold. I said, oof. And then all of a sudden I said, wait, I got a heat pad. Oh my goodness. I forgot about my heat pad. So those suckers are on under a heat pad, but when they're on a heat pad, you don't want to have it on top with a grow light on top of that necessarily. So I'm going to get them nice and warm, and I'll put them back under the grow light, and then I'll switch them back off and on, and I'll plug them in the cold out there. We actually got frost last night, which kind of pissed me off because I put a lot of new transplants in the ground just 2 days ago, and last night it got down to 29 degrees. I thought for sure we were going to be last frost was already behind us, but no, it was not. I'm like, oh boy, anytime you're putting brand new seedlings, or not seedlings, transplants in there, then you don't want them going cold because they're so under stress because of the movement. Yeah, so like right now it's 30. No, later on tonight it's going to get down to 30. Damn. Yeah. So I thought the last frost was behind us. A little bit too quick on the trigger. What's up, Indiana? Indy? Hey, Barry Hampton. Everyone's Connecticut realtor. So remember, if you're looking at the Northeast, Connecticut in particular, contact Mary Hampton. Can't find silver right now? No, sure you can. Let's go to. No way. So Kim says she can't find any silver. I don't believe that, Kim. I think Kim's pulling my silver chain here. So let's go to Jam Bullion and in stock silver. Let's just go silver Eagles. Yeah, they're definitely not cheap, but yeah. Let's just I wanted in stock silver. I got some 35 an ounce. Yeah, that's definitely higher than I was paying $14 an ounce just a couple of years ago. That's nuts. So, but at the end of the day, you think about it, it's gone up. We'll just say 100% in value in 2 years' time. Well, the S&P 500 has gone up basically 80% in value in a year's time. So that shouldn't shock anybody, actually. I'd be buying some there, Kim. That's Jam Bullion. I've used these guys a million times. Big fan first time. So they always serve me right. Yeah, Southwest Cup, man. I tell you what. Well, Oregon's heavenly, except it's freaking nuts. Southwest Colorado, yeah, dude. I freaking Colorado's fantastic, but my wife wasn't a big fan of Colorado, man, which is weird. I mean, because she likes it dry and she likes the sun. Small cap value over long. Oh boy, Rick must be new to the channel. Small cap. So anyone want? So you're right, Rick. This is not. We don't deny this, but anyone want to take a gander at why this is? I think Rick is missing something here. Anyone want to take? So Rick is saying small cap values outperformed the S&P, but has more volatility. If anyone's watched my channel for any significance, no, look, I do a lot of videos. I grant you. What is Rick overlooking here? I have to study for my COVID test tomorrow. Right on, man. Yeah, silver. Silver is better than gold. Absolutely. I mean, silver is better than nothing for sure. Tried Carnivore the band? Is that what you're saying? One of the best bands of all time. Freaking Peter Steele from Carnivore. Later Typo Negative. Yeah, big fan of Carnivore. The Fed decided they could buy junk bonds and ETFs in order to prop up the markets. President had no decision, part of that decision making. Yeah, I don't know. Poor Jeremy, I know. A fear porn and the fear porn retirement articles just keep coming. Saw another gem yesterday. Did you send it to me, Jill? I can't remember if you did or not. As retirement gets closer, it's hard to get up to go to work. Yeah, I just say, man, I'll come when I come. Everyone was outside. Yeah, well, that's a good point. Yeah. Back then, when everyone was skinny, they're outside back then. They're actually eating healthy too. Not nearly as much processed food, not nearly as much sugar in our foods. That's for damn sure. Yep. Okay. It's pre-processed food and so-called vegetable oil. Yeah, okay, so I get what you're saying. The Carnivore was not talking about the band Carnivore. Lynn was talking about eat meat, lose weight, get your brain back. I completely agree. Watch The Omen from 1978. Almost everyone looks like they need a sandwich. I know, it's crazy. Oh, look at Jeff. My man Jeff says, I left a 6-figure salary with 5-figure bonus at 50. You can't buy more time as planned. Yeah, I did the same thing, man. Same exact thing at 46. Yep. Bill's DB says, can't wait to tell my employer I'm done. I know when, but I ain't telling now. I don't want to tell it now, man. Oh, yeah. Dave Hoffman. Oh, I love Dave Hoffman. He lived in Maine for many, many moons. Do I ever regret? I don't regret it 1 minute. But I will tell you, JJ. So I was making $200,000, dude, and actually I had a probably $50,000 bonus on top of putting $50,000 away into profit sharing, because USAA, they had profit sharing, a 401k match of 8%, and then my own money going in. So, I was putting the max into my 401k, making bank, and then you get a big fat bonus at the end of the year. It's crazy, and my job was not that hard, but it wasn't fulfilling. And I got 4 kids, I got a big fat mortgage. My wife wasn't working. It was a challenge, but I had enough saved up where I felt, with my wife's agreement, I cannot stress this enough. If you're going into business for yourself, you got to make sure your better half is on board with it. Or if you're going to retirement, because I knew for the first year I wasn't going to make crap. And if I had to justify what I was doing to Charlotte, like, no money's coming in. How come no money's coming in? I saw you sitting around picking your nose. What's going on? That would not have worked. But she knew I was miserable. I said, I can't. And then, I had to sit in the traffic. I said, I just can't do this anymore. And so I looked at other jobs. I took a couple of crappy jobs that didn't pan out like I was kind of overpromised, underdelivered, but they still paid me. So it wasn't like I was doing it for charity. But I just said, I'm going to start my own. She goes, yeah, cool, man. I said, look, I don't think I make any money the first year. She goes, yeah, we'll get by. And I took $100,000 out of my 401k, pre-59.5. And I had not separated at 55 because I'm only 50 now. And I had to pay a 10% penalty. So $100,000 I netted cost me $130,000 in total. And that was a big hit to my 401k. I was like, ugh. And I had this bottom line. I said, if I ever get below that in terms of my overall assets, I will find another crappy job. But I said, I'll never go back in this industry because there are too many secrets this industry keeps on doing bad stuff. I telling a bunch of crap. But, oh, my goodness, we're all going to die if we don't hire somebody to manage our portfolio for 1.5%. Screw that. Oh, my goodness, you need long-term care or else you're not going to have enough money. Oh, I said, screw all these people, man. There's no evidence of this. Because I've seen it. I've been in business since 1998. I've seen it. And I've never heard anyone sit there and say, you know something, I wish I would have worked a couple extra years. I mean, I probably have, but tiny amount of times where I've heard a million times a Sunday, I wish I would have retired earlier because now I can enjoy it with my wife. Or, by the way, my husband just died. I wish he would have retired. I've heard that a million times. A lot more than I've heard of, I wish I would have stayed at my crappy old job. That never happens. Crazy. Oh, my goodness. I'm 75 years old. I don't have any money. I should have worked longer. But look, I get it. It's my business is self-selected. I guarantee people who are about to freaking, eat ramen noodles for the rest of life aren't calling me. I can't turn magic, but the people that probably on this channel are probably diligent savers to some regard. They probably don't have a whole lot of debt. And as such, they're probably sitting there thinking, I wonder if I can do this. And then old Josh comes along and I give you evidence of reasons you can. And then you start saying, Susie Orman's crazy. Dave Ramsey's wrong when it comes to reverse mortgages. Dave Ramsey's wrong when it comes to whole life insurance if it's done right. Who else is out there? Who are all the freaking idiots over at the new school, the Teresa Girardleys or whatever the hell her name is, freaking idiotics. All kinds of fear. The Fidelity study. Oh my goodness, you're going to need $320,000 over the course of your retirement to pay for health care. And people are like, I don't have that. How can I do it? I guess I have to work. Little do they know, they're using a lump sum in today's numbers to anticipate what you're going to need over the next 25 years. Okay, so let's do the same thing for your food, freaking Fidelity, crazy fools. Well, you'll need $800,000 for food. Do you have $800,000? No. Well, you better never retire because you'll never be able to eat. That's freaking stupid. Think about it. Hey, we hear this crap all the time. Oh my goodness. How many people are going to have Alzheimer's? And the average Alzheimer's person spends, okay, well, how many people actually spend what you project? It's like the freaking computer models, man, on climate change. Now we got the computer models on the COVID. It's all computer models. There's input by human beings in there. Human beings are not Jesus. Jesus was. He was the only inerrant human being. Everybody else has flaws. Freaking look at Neil Ferguson from the ICL, Imperial College of London. That freaking fool, man. Oh, shutting everybody down, having so many pigs, cows slaughtered because his freaking computer models. And yet he's still freaking well-renowned in UK for his science. Because we have a scientism that's taken over this country, man. You got a PhD. You must know more than some guy just reads books. I talked to the professor down in the Mises Institute. I went to in Auburn, Alabama. And she goes, I have a different viewpoint. No one can publish. I get no one to publish my stuff because my viewpoint won't toe the company line. And if I don't get published, I can't keep my job. And it's like literally, deliberately, they're eliminating me because they won't publish me because my viewpoint is different than theirs. And if I don't get published, I can't keep my job. So what does that mean? I have to toe the company line to keep my job. And then when I toe that, then I'm still not tenured. You see what I'm saying? So until I'm tenured, which is a huge time freaking commitment, and then I can finally say what I want to say. But 10, 15 years have gone by. They all can kiss my butt. Yeah, right there. Jake says, my younger brother's death at 54 from pancreatic cancer with my eyes. Stress, man. Right on, brother. That's freaking pissed me off. Yeah. You can't explain retirement life to someone that hasn't retired. They're still plugged in. I agree with that, man. And the system wants you plugged in, if that makes sense. Minimalism. Yes, right there. Minimalism with stakes. Prepping and precious metals go hand in hand like copper and lead. 762-556, 100%. All right. Judas Priest, right on there. Man, look at how did I know? Hell bent for Lela. Of course, Judas Priest also did some Green Manalishi, and then I'm drawing a blank. Not Crimson and Clover. I can't remember. All right. See what else we got. Right on. Computer is smarter than most. All right. I'm getting tired, my friends, so we'll probably get out of here. Kim's going to leave her crappy old job. Yeah, right on, Kim. I hate car. Oh, let me show you. I don't know if I can find this. I hate cars, but I need one. I need to buy one recommendation. I have a big family. Dude, hard to go wrong with a Toyota Sienna or a Honda freaking Odyssey. I'm telling you, I had an Odyssey for a long time, man. Diamonds and Rust, that's it, right? Man, Pulverizer. Of course, Pulverizer likes Pink Floyd, so Pink Floyd sucks. Actually, I'm gonna share with you guys something. If I can find this. I just was looking up, yeah, right here. This is if I can find it right. Let's see. Hold on just a second. Guess I won't. But anyway, I'm going to share with you something. So this guy, and then we'll get out of here. This guy right here lived on Peaks Island. All right. And I remember my mom had him, and I just found out he died. I got to call my mom, and I had forgotten all about him. But I remember for some reason, I'm writing my book on Maine. Return to Peaks Island. I remember some of the people I grew up with. I didn't grow up with him. He was way older than me. But he was on Peaks Island, eccentric as all can be, a physicist, mathematician, who first formulated the insertion algorithm that defines Robinson-Shenstedt correspondence. Whatever the hell that means, I don't know. I just remember he and his wife, Irene, who are both now deceased, would come to my mom's house, and they'd bring all these games because I love chess. And I was a chess champion on Peaks Island in second grade. I guess they thought I had a skill set in games. And anyway, long story short, they came to Peaks Island to live the simple life. They didn't have a car. In fact, there's an article in here that says, let's see. They didn't have a car in 1982 that Craig and Irene Shenstedt lived in Maine without a car. And so it's just kind of interesting. The point being, so we can see this guy, you think he's a hippie. He is. I don't even know if he's a hippie. He's just an eccentric. He's a weird dude. But here this guy is right there. And he named himself I don't even know what's called. EAEA. It's kind of weird, man. And so and he died. And I didn't keep in touch with him or anything, but he became that right there, EAEA. Anyway, the point being is, he designed several board games, including Star, and Y. In 1995, he changed his name to whatever that is, EA, the Babylonian name for Sumerian god Enki, and then he changed it to EAEA. He lived on Peaks Island, Maine. And his wife was also a physicist, a mathematician, too. The point being is that when I hear these greenies saying, we should go back to the land as they're flying around, I think about Craig and Irene Shenstedt on Peaks Island, who were literally brilliant individuals. I mean, again, I was a kid. I was like 5, 7, 10 years old. So I just remember them weirdos back then, and apparently he never got over being a weirdo. Sounds like his wife's the same thing. But they never had a car. I don't even know if they had electricity. I don't know. But ultimately, they got divorced, and his wife moved to Florida. So presumably, she used some fossil fuels to go to Florida. But at the end of the day, he didn't. He never had a car. He always just was a weird dude when I was growing up, and apparently he still was until the day he died, just this past January. The point being, tell these freaking, we got to get rid of fossil fuels. Say, yeah, don't just give me you got your Tesla. That doesn't mean crap. Don't fly, all right? Have no car at all, because we know for a fact your Tesla is made of fossil fuels, i.e. plastics, the batteries. We know most of Tesla batteries are charged. Not all of them. I mean, some are charged by solar. I get it. The vast majority are not charged by solar. We know that. Can it be? Sure. Absolutely. It'll take a long time, but either way, I mean, I get it. But all that stuff, plastics, all the mining, all fossil fuels took to get those things. So until these green freaking fools, and really these are green tyrants, they're watermelons. Green on the outside, dark red on the end. And they can all kiss my big fat behind because they're fakers. And I hate fakers. I hate it, man. And I hate people sitting there saying, I don't hate them. I despise fakers say, oh, we got to protect the environment as they're flying all over the world. They're freaking, having all kinds of plastics, cell phones, the silver that goes in there. How's that stuff mined? Is it mined with freaking electric vehicles? That's for damn sure. So they can all kiss my behind. But there's a way to do it. You could live like Craig Shinstead on Peaks Island with no car. And I don't know if he had electricity. Presumably at some point he did. I don't know. But until you live like that guy, I don't want to hear it. So I want to show you one other thing here. So I'm yapping here because the green people are big now. Like everyone's like Black Lives Matter. That's not. Those guys would be gone in 2 days. No one cares. The green people are, because the green people is where the dominant, the corporate America types, the Davos crowd. These guys are the real ones to be fearful of. Black Lives Matter doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. It's the green people are the bad ones. And so here's a guy who I enjoy his YouTube, or not his YouTube channel, his homepage, Michael Blue Jay. Well, it looks like he changed his website. All right, his face. All right, good stuff. And he's a big a greeny guy too. And you can read some of his stuff to find what the other side is saying about being green. All right, it's pretty. I actually enjoy his website. I do. But I always. Right here, I actually hope you don't fly because flying causes climate change. But this website is how I can get your attention on that subject. If you're going to fly anyway, this site will give you the lowdown on cheap airfare on the internet, as high as number 5 in Google for cheap airlines. So again, he hopes you don't fly. You can't fly, be green, man. That's all there is to it. You can't. So you can all kiss my butt if you're like, oh my goodness, CO2 is bad. And as you're flying around the world. And again, he says, I hope there he is right there. So I'm not sure. Looks like he cut his hair or something like that. Anyway, it's a good website. I've learned a lot from him. Again, all these people are hypocrites, but he says, I presume he does not fly. But anyway, he says, I hope you don't fly because it is causing climate change. Yep, don't fly. Flying causes climate change. So at least he admits it. At least he admits it. So good on him, man. So at least he's saying that. I hope you don't use dope, but if you do, here's the cheapest heroin you can get. I mean, it's the same thing. But Josh, flying doesn't kill me. Well, if you're worried about CO2 killing the world, then you can't be promoting flying, can you? No different than me saying I'm worried about you down from OD and heroin, but here's the cheapest heroin you can get. But that's not the same. That is the same thing. CO2. All right, we got to get rid of Calden. Anytime we start seeing people talking crazy about right on pulverizer. Yeah. All right. Anytime we start seeing people jumping on here I've never seen talking about Bitcoin and stuff, I know they're trolls because I see comments like, the funny thing is you'll see like a comment, oh, everyone who's not buying Bitcoin is going to miss out. And then you see like 35 other comments behind. It's funny. That's just some bot. It's a bot. It's crazy. Anyway, point being is anytime you see like all of a sudden out of nowhere, you'll see the people trying to promote porn. I try to get rid of that. And then you'll see the, John Henry says, you're all going to miss if you don't buy Bitcoin. I know somebody who can really advise you on that, whatever her name is, that WhatsApp. Yep, Bitcoin scammers coming in. Exactly. I've never been a big fan of Matt Gaetz, whatever. I don't care about the allegations. I just don't like him because he's a greenie. He says, we got to do something to appeal to the kids. We got to reach the kids by being green. It's all fake. The green stuff is, look, it used to be, it still is, Second Amendment. I think that side, we won that. I'm not worried at all about second. No one on the right is going to be for banning firearms. It's not going to happen. Abortion's another one. I'm against abortion 100%. But it's not, that doesn't, look, I'm against it. And people have to make their own choice on that for sure. But the other one would be the climate change stuff. If you're a Republican and you believe in climate change as if it's caused by human beings with CO2, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't. If you're a Republican, believe in a carbon tax, you're a Republican and believe in this crap that Schultz, and he's dead now, and Jim Baker are promoting, you're a swamp dweller. And freaking Getz, 100% pulverized, gets a compromise cloud. I'll never forget a couple years ago, he said, we need to pass a green to get appeal to the young kids. young kids are they're dumb, man. That's why they're young. I mean, when I was young, I was dumb. And, and you used to say in the Army, young, dumb, and full of, and I won't say it, but you're a young man, you're young, dumb, and full. We'll just say piss and vinegar. Kids, they learn. I mean, people get more conservative as they get older because they learn stuff. They have kids. They realize the system isn't just freaking unicorns. Bernie Sanders is a fool. They get this. It takes time. Getz has this sneaky thing that we got to be green to appease these people. You can't be green. You can't appease the watermelons. It's never enough. It's never enough. And at least AOC, to her credit, she came out with it, dude, which is fantastic. Then we could say, so basically we got Matt Getz here, Gates, what the hell his name is. You got AOC way over here, right? Yeah, you got people like me way over here say fossil fuels or nuclear. It's got to be one of those two. You can throw some little side hustles on solar, and that's fine. But then you got a guy like Matt Gaetz who says we need to get some of that stuff over here from AOC, so that way we can get some of we can appeal to the kids. That's kind of like when they say the political thing is you got commies and Nazis. So the political thing used to be there's a political alignment. Commies on the left, Nazis on the right. I'm like, no, I don't fall. I'm on the right, but I'm not a Nazi. In fact, Nazis are the National Socialist. Interesting. At the end of the day, where does freedom flow in here? So if I'm too far to the right, I'm a Nazi. If I'm too far to the left, I'm a commie. Well, where's freedom? So I would say freedom is above the plane. And as such, it's not part of this stupid dichotomy. It's a false dichotomy. So no different than Matt Gaetz saying, oh, look, we just got to take some of the commie stuff and negotiate so we can get some of the commie vote. Now, screw that, man. Just these Republicans got to learn. And Frankie, if you know, that's my big issue. Just like the Second Amendment in the 1990s, many Republicans sold their soul thinking that they could compromise on the Second Amendment. So you can't. You can't compromise on freedom. You can't. As such, you freaking say at the end of the day, I'm 100% for the Second Amendment. But what about? I'm like, yeah, we always say that. And we give a step, we take one step, we get hit by five. Just read George H.W. Bush with his stupid raising taxes in 1990. He got smoked by George Mitchell. He said, for every dollar of taxes we raise, we'll cut spending by $2. It did not happen. Didn't happen. He got smoked. He compromised. He lost. Why? Because he said, they're going to say, read my lips, no new taxes. And this is what Republicans have been falling through all the time. They try to compromise the Democrats, and Democrats want power. Under any way, they're going to get it. It's satanic, dude. You think the devil gives two craps what you believe as long as you believe what he tells you? Do you think he cares if you're black and you hate whites or if you're white and you hate blacks? He doesn't care. Do you think he just wants you freaking hating? That's all he cares. He's a liar. He'll tell you what you want to hear so you follow along him and away from God. And then you get down to hell, you're like, but devil, you promised me. He goes, I lied. What are you going to do about it? Yeah, the Democrats, but Nancy Pelosi promised me. I lied. What are you going to do about it? I mean, the Republicans, I don't know why any Republican would follow this crap, dude. It's nuts. We've been down this road 1,000 times a Sunday where we negotiate and they win every single time. It's crazy. We need some fighters. And the first thing you can do to fight is fight the freaking carbon tax. It's coming. There's no way around that. I'm just telling you right now. I want people to fight. And Second Amendment, my big one, abortion is in there, and then freaking climate change is now because we won on the Second Amendment because we didn't negotiate. We said, nope. Who was I listening to today? Is John Adams, was it John Adams? Someone related to John Adams said, a loud voice-first minority can turn the cause of politics. It's almost like Nassim Nicholas Taleb says, like 5% minority will rules. And he did an article on why a small minority rules over a large majority. It's very, very interesting. And we got to be in a small minority who say, screw your stupid Green New Deal, screw your stupid carbon tax, screw your climate change stuff until you stop flying airplanes, until you freaking give up your fossil fuels, or you talk nuclear. I don't want to hear a damn thing. We're not negotiating until you give it up, and they're not gonna, because these guys are all fake. Fakers. All fakes. All right. Hey, Bruce, finally in the house. I'm just getting ready to yeah, that guy. I'm not the biggest Steve. I get Steve Bannon. I'm okay with him. I don't know. There's some of that stuff. Well, who else they said was a fighter? They said somebody else was too. It's like, I don't know. Lynn misses Trump. Frank, I don't, and I know that pisses some of you off. Look. Trump did what we needed to do for a little bit to get the Republicans with some spine, but I'm actually optimistic. I think these was remember Sniffy Joe when he ran didn't win one delegate in 2008. Kamala didn't win one delegate in 2020. All right, there's no power base there other than they can no base of support for these clowns other than they have power. That's it. And the minute they don't have power anymore, that they're gone. And so what happens is no one cares about these people. They just care about the fact that somehow they won, but they got no power. All right, no one likes them. They're just like whatever. Susan Rice is probably running the show, taking orders from Valerie Jarrett. So we know at the end of the day, these people are just tokens, but because they're not running the show. So anyway, point being is that I think the Republicans are getting the spine up. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. And as such, if the Republicans more often than not, we're going to have some idiots. We're going to have some losses along the way. But this new Georgia bill was pretty fantastic. And it's fantastic because of screeching on the left. If you can't hear screeching, I heard you're not going to hear screeching on the left if they're okay with the bills being proposed. And what I see in Kentucky and West Virginia and Georgia, lots of good bills being proposed in the states. And when we got hopefully some stuff come out of New Hampshire, because New Hampshire's got pretty strong majorities and the governor. So when we got the trifecta on the right, there better be some stuff happening to tell the federal government to stick it up their butts. The problem with Trump is he's still, is that Trump allowed this to happen from this COVID thing. And we're still under it. And he did not see what was happening. Instead, he wanted to tweet about Joe Scarborough. I was like, Trump, you should have made it just frustrating. And now Trump's going around saying, everybody's getting vaxxed because of me. I'm not taking the vax. I don't care if you take it. But this idea that Trump is like some savior because it's weird to me. And that actually, in some ways, I'm wondering if we didn't dodge a bullet. Let's just put this say. Yeah, you only draw a flack when you're on target. Exactly. Not a fan of Tim Scott. I'll tell you that right now. Those South Carolina three, Tim, Nikki, and Lindsey, they don't do anything for me. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not a fan. Look, I like Tim Scott better than the other two. I can't stand Nikki. I don't trust Lindsey Graham as far as I could kick him. Tim Scott, no. Nope, not for me. Now, look, in some ways, Trump, I get it. I mean, he didn't know what he was going into. He's going to a buzzsaw when he first won. And he hired, he didn't have any freaking Rolodex of DC people that were anti-establishment. He just didn't. As such, I don't know. He just let himself get taken down. There's no other way around. That's the way I look at it. He let himself get taken down. It's too bad. But Republicans hopefully have learned, and they can do a little bit better programming, not to get stuck into Joe Scarborough, hissy fits when the country is being. We haven't lost as much freedom since FDR interned Japanese people. That's stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. Go after the Democrats who interned Japanese people, you freaking fools. That's Asian hate right there. We haven't lost as much freedom since then. And it happened under Trump. And I tell you, I know people get mad at me when I say it, but I'm mad at that. That's nuts. And should never happen. He should have been on that like white on rice. But he didn't. And because I know, and the Republicans went along and said, look, we'll just allow the freedoms to be taken away because we got to win an election. Then we'll come back strong. That's where the Republicans always play. Just wait till next election. Just wait till next election. Then we'll be strong. And they never are because they're saying, well, we don't want to go too far to the right because then we'll lose the moderates. That's what Karl Rove and stuff. We don't want to lose the moderates. You think freaking Trump won because of the moderates? Trump won because he bought voters out who never voted in freaking 50 years. because he was anti-establishment, anti-politician. The last thing we need is another freaking Karl Rove who's like plotting to strategize, to triangulate. Forget all that. All right. I'll get out of here, my friends. Appreciate it. Much obliged for y'all being here. Signing off. April Fools to you. All right. All right. You just won $1 million and you won $1 million and you want a car and you want a car. April Fools. I will see you again. See you later. Thanks, guys.